welcome to the Consciousness Shift channel. Today is Wednesday, February the 6th, 2019, and it is good to find you here, alive and well. My friends, today we're going to have a little conversation about consciousness, and some people call it awareness. And many people are trying to figure out how to increase their awareness. So today, I brought you a couple of tips to get you started. And I thank all of you who have subscribed to the channel and who have emailed me and asked me some interesting questions. I will answer them, as much as possible. And the noise that you're hearing is the rain, and I kind of love the rain. I love everything about everything because that's how I choose to live. All right. Whereas some people will be quite upset, but it's fine. Anyway, awareness, mindfulness. It is so important for us to become. If we are not already, we really want to become more aware in this season of this Earth's changes. And I'm not just saying that there are changes in not only the world, but the Earth. The Earth, there are so many changes. Just yesterday, I was reading a CNN. Believe it or not, I don't read them that often, but it was quite surprising that yesterday CNN was reporting on the polar vortex. I was like, really? CNN is reporting, the mainstream media is reporting on a possible polar shift? Wow. I thought when the conscious community was talking about the eventuality or the possibility of a polar shift, that it was considered either pseudoscience or some sort of a conspiracy theory. Well, now that it's on CNN, I guess it's, I don't want to say gospel, but I guess it's more acceptable once CNN publishes it. So the Earth is changing. The mainstream media is starting to talk about it. As far as the polar vortex, we have seen all the changes that have been happening. There are some that we notice. People who are aware have noticed those changes and may have read about the fact that the pole, the North Pole, is shifting more drastically than it had in the past. And if I can share some numbers with you, I believe between 1900 and 1980, at the turn of the 20th century, I believe that the Earth had only shifted about 6 miles, whichever way they measure it. And somehow it kind of accelerated in the 90s. And it went up to about 21 miles. And now, when I was reading yesterday, when I was reading that CNN report, well, it seems as if it has shifted 34 miles. So that's pretty drastic. So people are taking notice, and scientists are a little bit baffled. Now, what is all this causing? Well, they are saying, the scientists are saying that they're not sure, but they can see a connection to the animals losing their how would we say this, the animals, for example the birds that use the electromagnetic field to kind of situate themselves, just like we use Google Map or some other system to geographically position ourselves or look for a position. Well, they are a little confused. The birds are confused, and that explains why so many of them just fell off the sky and died. And the scientists are also connecting the strange moves of some of the dolphins and other marine life that has been more and more found dead or disoriented. So, my friends, this is for real. There is something happening both in the world. I don't need to tell you guys that in the world, but with the earth as well, there is a shift. And we need to be aware of all these things so that we understand how we should manage our own selves with all these changes. I have observed in recent weeks a certain development when it comes to the mental situations of some individuals. I'm just going to speak of those that are on the news, such as the suicide of a pastor, of a mega church pastor in California. So that is something that we cannot ignore, my friends, because even though, unfortunately, the pastors sometimes create a situation where they are pretty lonely, that they are pretty isolated, I hope as the earth is changing and that our body is changing and as everything is changing, that the pastors are men and women like us, so they should seek care from others. In as much as they pray, I believe that they should also seek medical care and other care that is available to them. I also noticed also on the news, the passing of an actor. I don't quite remember his name, but a fairly young actor. He was only 52 years old, and he played in The Young and the Restless. And it's not yet conclusive how he died when I read the news, but I mention only these two to say that you have this very successful actor. I used to watch him on television when I was in high school. So he's been an actor for a long time, and he's been quite successful. But we also know from the report that he had lost a child. So that was trauma. That was pretty traumatic. And I don't know how he sought help for that trauma. And these are the things, my friends, that we should not be afraid to do. We need to seek help. We need to connect to people who are going to hold confidentiality by law or by whatever profession, by law or by ethics, that they would not share the situations that you would have shared with them. Quite a few people need someone to talk to, but sometimes they are afraid that someone is going to go on social media and out there and lay out their dirty laundry. So people prefer suffering in silence. So we need to be aware of all these changes that are causing not only physical ailments, but also mental ailments. So can we how can we improve on our awareness? Well, the first tip that I'm going to give you guys today is to learn to quiet your mind. It is one of the most successful things that you can do to immediately vibrate higher, immediately put your body in a state of rest, because your mind would be at rest. Meditating, praying. I will never stop talking about how efficient, how wonderful, how powerful, how amazing praying and meditating are. And the difference between the two, as far as I understand them, and to simplify it for you guys, I look at praying that we are talking to the Creator. Remember, Jesus in the Bible said, pray incessantly, meaning don't ever stop praying. Don't ever stop talking to the Father, to your Creator. I believe in that. Like I said, and I had shared with you guys in other videos, in my previous videos, that early on, prayer saved my life when I didn't even know that I was praying. So your tears are prayers, especially when you are young and you are a child. But even as you are older, at any age, sometimes it is good to retreat into a place of solitude. Unfortunately, some people in this society don't like to be alone. They always want to be busy around people. Your awareness is not going to improve that way because your mind is too agitated. So learning to quiet the mind through prayer and meditation is definitely a good way to start being aware. Because when you quiet your mind, you're going to be aware of you're going to be aware of some wonderful things that you have not had the opportunity to think about. You know, some things that happened wonderfully in your life. And as you are praying, you can always start with the simplest of prayers. You start thanking God, thanking your Creator. There's so much about you that you can thank God for. Your life, your family, your body, your healing, your job, your sustenance, your loved ones, your friends. So much. Everything that God has allowed you to have. And that's how you can start praying, just by saying thank you. You know, gratitude is so powerful that it does wonders to the body. Just saying thank you. Someone has helped you. Someone had provided for you when you were in need. It's important to be grateful and to be thankful. That's awareness. You're being mindful of someone else who used their time, their love, their affection on you to help you. Now, meditation is a silent moment when you listen. So there is more listening. You're just listening to the nothingness of life, and you are also listening to the voice of God if you are able to hear him, because God tends to talk to us based on his word, and it does happen. A lot of us have experienced hearing him. This is no illusion. There is more illusion than in the regular matter stuff that happened than with consciousness and God, how real God is. So prayer and meditation are so important in our lives, especially today with all of these changes. So I really encourage that. Another way to raise your awareness is to clean up your environment. Don't be in clutter. You know, living in clutter is just gonna clutter your mind, clutter your thoughts, clutter your disposition. You Because you're gonna think about how much you need to clean that up. So clean it up. Clean up your environment. Make it lighter. Give stuff away. Don't keep holding on to things. Take them to Goodwill. Take them to a neighbor. Give stuff away. Just don't attach yourself to so much of what you have. I actually think that it's good to keep things as light as possible, not having a bunch of stuff. Keep it light, and your life will reflect that. We don't need the heaviness in a season where the earth is going through so much, so much. We see the nations are speaking of wars. There are rumors of wars, as God prophesied in Matthew chapter 24 through Jesus Christ. All of it is written. So I don't know how people who don't read the Word of God do it, because that is our reference as to what is going on. It's always been the reference. Even when Jesus was on earth, he went to the synagogue, and many intellectuals, especially in the United States, especially during the civil rights movement, they never negated their spirituality. Being spiritual doesn't mean you're not an intellectual. These are two different things. Consciousness is extremely important. Being aware of the things that are not to nurture your ego. So you want to put that aside and see how much of the mental exercise that can take place. Another thing that you can do to also raise your awareness is those that you speak to, the activities that you undertake. Are they necessary? Are they needed? Are they useful? Do they bring you joy? Well, if they don't, separate yourselves from them. Separate yourself from them. We try to attach ourselves to what is killing us, holding on, holding on. If it's not good, it's not good. Because when it's not good, it is not good from the roots of it, from the heart, from the thoughts. So that's another thing that you can also do your best to control. It's your thoughts. And I just did this exercise. My thoughts started to wonder about something, and I said, no. And I brought my thoughts back to the center of where I wanted it to be, something that was more joyful to me. And I even smiled because I'm used to doing this exercise. And I said, I'm going to mention that today because I deliberately brought that thought back to the center of what I of where I wanted it to be, something that I looked at in my thoughts that was very joyful, that was very peaceful, that was beautiful, and that's where I brought my thoughts that were wandering away into an area that I did not want my thoughts to go. So this is a deliberate effort to remain whole, because if you don't take care of yourself, who will? We do have some excellent doctors that take care of us, but they can only do so much. There is the consciousness part that no doctor will be able to do for you. So it is up to you to enhance your life, to enhance what your physician is doing if you are ill, to contribute to yourself the part of consciousness that will only be beneficial to you. There's so much about meditation that I cannot wait to share with you guys once I open my super chat, because I really, like I said, these are the special conversations that we're going to have to those that are going to have a membership in my super chat, because I really want to share all of that information, especially how I overcame some tragic things in my life, some terrible moments, and I think it's going to be valuable information for a number of people. And I was interviewed recently, and I'm going to be sharing that interview as soon as I have a copy of it, so that you can see. It was really on the book. The they don't walk the street called love, and people are realizing that it is so important that we raise our vibration to the level of love, which is where life is. And keeping it low, there is no life. Matter of fact, I will come back with a scientist that actually realizes that as soon as the consciousness level is at a certain low level, some cells, some cellular functions start dying. Some molecular functions, especially, he said, in the nervous system, the central nervous system, start to die. I'm not surprised, because a lot of what we find in the low level of consciousness is everything that brings about stress. Nothing that is good, no compliments, no joy, no, nothing good comes out of it. It's almost as if people take pleasure in doing evil. And it is best not to spend that much time there. So I really wanted to have this little conversation today about increasing our vibration, encouraging you guys to continue to do that. Those of you who are saying to me that you are changing, you are slowly changing the way that you are living. And that's really what life is about, because the results are going to be phenomenal. You're not going to regret changing the way you think, changing. You are changing. You are doing it for yourself, not because someone else is telling you to do it, but you realize that you've not gained much about hating others or hating on others, backbiting, creating stories, creating false realities, disturbing other people's lives, and plotting evil. All of those things, plotting murders, those crazy demonic activities. It's best that we use our thoughts, our actions, our words to bless our brothers and sisters. And the mass consciousness is only going to get stronger in positivity, and we're all going to enjoy a better life, no matter how long we live on this earth. But those years and those times that we're going to have, they're going to be fantastic, no matter who is around us, they will benefit. And no matter who is around us, we will also benefit from them. So this is what I wanted to share with you guys today. Please continue to share my videos, and I thank all of you who have subscribed and who continue to share them. I will I have so much that I want to share with you guys, and it's just the time that I'm scheduling to make more videos. As you know, when you have more than one activities, even though I don't multitask, I try to not do that anymore. Having been a type A personality for a good portion of my life until illness taught me to slow down. And so I'm telling you, don't wait until you are incapacitated and until you are very ill to look at life in a different way. This is what I want to use my life, having overcome so much, to help you overcome as well, and to create this mass consciousness of positivity and love, so that we all can walk the street called love. All right, my friends. Until next time, please be good to yourself and to each other.